Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Axolotl from Sextante Studios and Enigma cards. This deck was released on Kickstarter after being designed in Mexico, and it celebrates an animal that's native to Mexico. The axolotl is kind of known as the walking fish there, but it's not actually a fish. It's an amphibian, kind of more closely related to a salamander. I actually think it looks like a tadpole with legs. It was actually first named by the Aztecs, hence the kind of unusual spelling. It looks like it'd be pronounced axolotl, but the name comes from two different parts. At means water to the Aztecs, and Xolotl was a dog-like god of fire. So you put those together and you get Axolotl. The animal today is really only found in a single lake outside of Mexico City. And as a result of sort of population growth and pollution in the area, it's been reduced to the point that it's now critically endangered. In fact, in 2013, they thought it might actually be extinct before they discovered some more. And today it's thought that there's probably less than 1,000 of them out in the wild. And so one of the missions of this deck was just to sort of bring awareness to this endangered species and some of the conservation efforts that are going on around it. So that's the story and inspiration behind the deck. Love that. It's something a little bit unusual and different, but let's see how the deck itself turned out. All right, starting with the tuck case. It's done completely on black matte cardstock, and it's covered with UV spot printing, which gives a little bit of a feel of embossing, but it's just that sort of raised UV spot ink that's placed on top. All of the details are done in that color, and it gives it a really cool effect. I mean, depending on the light, the tuck case can look almost completely black, but then as you tilt it in the light, that UV spot print will really let you appreciate all of the details. Now you got the name of the deck across the front, Axolotl. You have the amphibian itself peeking out right there in the center, and it's surrounded by hyacinth plants and these kind of wavy lines to give you the feel of water, almost like you're kind of swimming through the natural habitat of the axolotl. You can see down here, they're limited edition playing cards, and just a really cool look to it overall. And I like the feel of that UV spot printing. Like I said, it feels a little bit like embossing. On the sides, you got designed in Mexico and true linen B9 finish from Cartamundi. The bottom here has all of your ad copy for Cartamundi, Enigma, and Sextante Studios. And then on the top, more just those sort of wavy patterns. The back here is going to be a UV spot version of the back design of the card. So look at the details in a second, but it just completes the glowing look to the tuck case. Inner flaps here, more that kind of wavy pattern, and you get a couple of little almost silhouettes of the axolotl on the smaller tuck flaps. Nothing printed on the inside, but that's the tuck case. Definitely a striking look to it overall. Maybe would have liked one with a little bit of color on it, but definitely produces a really striking effect overall. All right, now into the cards, and we'll start with the back design. And here it is. So same thing we're looking at on the tuck case, but you can see it's done in a monochrome color scheme. Would have maybe liked to see a little bit more color on this one, but the details on this are really beautiful. The two bubbles in the center, of course, feature the star of our show, the axolotl curled up there. A cute little creature with his little legs sticking out. Great artwork on those. And then surrounded by hyacinths, you've got the leaves flowing out here, kind of flower buds there in the middle. And then all the rest of the background is filled with these sort of wavy patterns that are crisscrossing throughout. It's a really cool hypnotic effect to it overall. Love the broken border around the edge, kind of giving you that more organic feel to the back design, but still maintains a full two-way look to it. So really nice back design. Love the artwork that is done on this one. Definitely a lot of talent that went into this. Finishes out with that nice thin white poker border too. You get a single joker rather than the normal two. So the joker features, of course, the axolotl there in the center, just a black and white sketch of one. Another really cool bit of artwork there. And then just has a joker in the corners. You also get another extra card that gives you a little bit about the axolotl. Tells you about where it's found, a little bit about its endangered nature, both front and back, and tells you a little bit about Casa del Axolotl, which is a kind of museum that you can go visit in Mexico to learn more about the axolotl. and gives some extra acknowledgements. So cool little thing. I think with an awareness deck, nice to have something that gives you a little bit of extra info. And then interestingly, you get 2 extra gaff cards. First one here is a duplicate Queen of Hearts. I get a little peek of the artwork there. We'll talk more about the court designs in a little bit. And you get a double facer, 3 clubs on one side and King of Hearts on the other. A nice pair of gaff cards. If you want to use this for Magic, always great to get some gaff cards. All right, then you get to the 4 aces. All 4 aces are pretty much power aces in my mind. The Ace of Spades has a little bit extra with the Axolotl by Enigma playing cards down there at the bottom, but features kind of black and white drawing in the shape of that spade pip in the center. And of course, you've got the Axolotl curled up among the hyacinths there in the middle. Another great little bit of artwork. Love just how organic and flowing the whole thing looks. Get a custom styled pip and index in the corner too. Definitely still functional, readable, but has kind of a hand-drawn, more organic feel to it overall. The other 3 aces, equally impressive. They all feature the Axolotl kind of curled up to make the shape, along with the extra hyacinths and the water bubbles just to complete the look. Red cards are always done in red ink, black cards in black ink. There's the club. See him crawling up the leaf there. And there's the diamond. All really beautiful aces. Definitely like those. That's a highlight of the deck for me. All right, the number cards do feature custom pips, but nothing really out of the ordinary custom on these. They're fairly close to the standard, so they'll definitely still be very functional cards. You do get a slightly custom font in the corners as well. So there's your spades. There's your hearts, nice fat plump hearts, and kind of a darker red on these, not your traditional super bright red. The clubs feature a little extra embellishment. These are meant to look like the leaves, and so you can kind of see the veins running through, giving a little extra flair to it. And then finishing out with the diamonds. And just tiny little flares on the points of the diamonds to give it a little interesting shape to it. So there's your number cards, and then we get to the quartz. And the quartz, I really love on these. So they're definitely, they start out as, kind of your standard quartz, but they're all completely redrawn. They kind of have this watercolor paint style to them, and they're meant to be the regular quartz as if they lived underwater. So you can see the background with the beautiful hues of blue, and then you have this sort of watery look to the entire court. I love the color palette that's used on this and the sort of ethereal look that you get to the cards overall. You even get little bits of moss on the clothing, etc. But I think these are really beautiful while still maintaining just a full, standard court feel to them that's going to be nice and familiar if you wanted to use these for gameplay. Then we go through the heart quartz and then into the clubs. There's those. The eyes definitely have this kind of ghostly, mysterious look to them. Like or completely blacked out eyes, which I think is an interesting choice. And then into the diamonds. So really like the style of the quartz. And I'm going to use this term loosely, as standard quartz go. I like the redesign that was done on these to really make them unique for this deck. So I think a lot of great work went into those. So that is the deck. Now, as far as handling, I mentioned when we saw it on the tuck case, these are done with the B9 True Linen finish from Cardamundi. It's definitely a slightly thicker card, not an ultra thick card, but it is a little thicker than normal, but they handle absolutely beautifully. That True Linen finish from Cardamundi is, to me, just some of the smoothest handling stock right out of the tuck case. I think it just always handles really well for fans, etc. So big fan of the handling on this one, no pun intended. Nothing bad to say about it at all. What do I think of the deck overall? I think as an awareness deck, I think it really serves the purpose, but I think it really stands out as a nice functional deck despite all the custom elements. I think this would be great for gameplay. For Magic, you get the extra gaff cards included, which make this a nice functional deck for Magic. It's not so crazy custom as to distract from those uses. To me, that's really where this one's going to shine. I think it's a great deck to open up, use for gameplay, use for Magic. But that's it. That is my look at the Axolotl playing cards from Enigma Cards and Sextante Studios. Hope you enjoyed this look. And hey, make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what else it is that you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.